Hi guys, good evening. We're going live with Dr. Aradhna Pandey today. She was on DogSpot earlier as well. And it's a pleasure to have you back, Dr. Pandey. How are you doing?
I'm good. Thank you so much for getting me back again. I just love talking to people who love dogs.
Yeah, and we love people who love dogs at DogSpot, obviously. So, how's Doggy World doing in the lockdown?
I don't think we are under lockdown because we have been working throughout the lockdown. Yes, some timings were altered, but majorly we were taken care of throughout the lockdown. So we were
Hmm.
working throughout the lockdown, all the emergencies and everything was going on. So it was not a major difference to our things. Only the timings have been shifted to a bit smaller time. Otherwise, we have been working throughout.
Yeah, no, it's a relief otherwise, to have all the best working because it's very difficult in this time. Where would anyone go? So, Dr. Pandey, last time when you were here, we spoke about how to take care of your pets in lockdown. But now this time we wanted to talk about how to take care of pets during summer. Since it's getting hot and the season is changing. So, what are the common problems you see during summer, and how do you think what people can do to overcome these problems?
Basically, you see, there are, apart from the diseases, there are certain problems that are related with the heat as such. Like summers, I feel is the worst season for most of the pets because they are not comfortable. Once they are not comfortable, the stress takes them over, and stress leads to all sorts of problems. Like general immunity goes down, whatever infections are going on, they tend to flare up. So apart from the diseases, the first and the most common thing that we face these days is the stressing down, because of the stress they are not eating properly, their schedules are changed, they don't want to go out on the normal schedules, they want to sleep a lot, so general lethargy sets in, and this
Yes.
alters the entire system of the dog. So talking about the general thing, it is changes in diets, especially they don't feel like eating. Almost 50% of the diet is reduced during this time. Apart from there, because of the high temperature, there's tick infestation starts, because this is the most common parasite
Yes.
that is found during this season.
Yes.
So they tend to take on the things. The skin problems start coming up because the bacteria can grow very well under the skin, and even a small moisture left on the body can lead to these type of any sort of bacterial and fungal growths on the body. So skin problems start coming up. Because of
Okay.
the ticks, there are certain diseases like tick fever and all those things start coming up.
Hmm.
And if you forget about the diseases also, there are certain conditions that can lead to the even the death of the dog within 15-20 minutes. That is the heat stroke. This is the
Oh my God.
most common killer. Yeah, most common killer during the summer period. If you leave your pet just for 15 minutes in your car and you go out to buy something and you leave him in the car which is closed or which is not having the AC started up, dog can even die within 15 minutes. So that is the most common thing that we face during the summers, deaths due to summer heat stroke. So we'll talk about it
So,
in detail. Yeah.
no, so how do you recommend, like, if people are taking their dog somewhere in a car, what should they be doing?
I would prefer that they should cool their car at least 10 minutes before they start to take the pets. It should be
Okay.
properly chilled and cooled down. Sometimes the pet are not comfortable in a closed car, so the windows should be rolled down and the fresh air should be allowed to move in the car. And make him drink a good quantity of water before you take him out to any place. And if it is a long journey, take small breaks, like after half an hour or so, or if you feel the dog is panting a lot, so take him out, make him rest, drink some water, and then you can further your journey. But preferably, if you are going for a long route driving, ideally it should be either in the very early morning or it should be late evening, so that the basic summer heat, stress, sun should be taken care of. But ACs is a comfortable thing. If dog is comfortable in a closed car, so air conditioning the car, whether it should be chilled. It should not be like you start the AC and then you put the dog inside it. because
Okay.
once you enter a car, it is quite heated up. So it takes at least 10-15 minutes to make it down to a comfortable
Right.
level. But before that, the heat could, the temperatures could rise in case of the dogs, and they won't be able to sustain that heat.
So what can we do if we feel that our dog is heating up, is get feeling hot? What can we do to cool them down?
Because the first thing is I want to highlight here that dogs don't have the sweat glands. They lose all their heat from either the tongue, they start
Right.
panting, or through the paws. So once you see a dog is panting and he's dropping like droplets of water is coming out from the tongue, and his tongue is like hanging loud, you must
Yeah.
at least stop the car, let him be open in a open place where the temperature is comfortable, give him lots of water to drink. And if you feel that still he's not comfortable, you can even pour cold water on his head. Try to
Right.
put the
Okay.
cold water, this towels on the lower part of the body, like belly and on the paws, so that the temperature could be lowered down as fast as possible. We even recommend that you can drench him in cold water, like pour bottles of cold water on him, so that the temperature
Yeah.
should not cross at least 506. It should be brought down immediately. Otherwise, it will lead to sorry, it will lead to certain changes that are irreversible, and that won't be able to be revived back. Many a times it
Yeah.
happens that within 15 minutes the brain changes, brain activities happen. There are certain clotting defects, even blindness happens within 15-20 minutes, because any center of the
Wow.
brain could be affected. And the
Okay.
moment something major happens, so it won't be revived back. So it has to be taken care of as early as possible. The first thing is to cool him down, whatever
No,
way you
thank
can
you
do
so
it.
much,
Cool him down.
Dr. Pandey, because I don't think anyone is intentionally even trying to harm their dog. It just doesn't occur to us that we say, oh, it's only 10 minutes, But the car becomes like an oven, I guess, and suddenly the dog is no more. So, no,
Yeah.
thank you
So
so
it's
much. I'm a little shaken by this information because I didn't think, that heat stroke is so fast.
your voice is very
I
cracky.
I
Yeah.
know. Let's just retry the session. I'm going to end this, and guys, we're going to try that again.
Okay.
Hi, guys, we're back. Sorry for the technical difficulties. We were talking about heat stroke in dogs in the summer, and Dr. Pandey gave some very good tips. I mean, if you couldn't hear, I'm just going to do a quick recap. So she said that in 15 minutes in a locked car in the summer, your dog can die of heat strokes. That's how fast it kills. And I was a little shaken when I heard this because I mean I've had pets and I know about heat stroke, but I didn't know how fast it can kill. So cool down your car before you get your pet into the car. Leave the AC on for 10 minutes at least. Let it cool down, and then only put your dog in it. And if you see that the dog is heating up and has is drooling from the mouth and everything, you can give him some water to drink, pour some cold water on the dog's head, even under the belly, or you can even drench the dog completely in water, and that helps in cooling down the dog. Because even if the dog sometimes doesn't die, she said, it can cause irreversible damages like blindness even, right, Dr. Pandey?
Yes, perfectly right. Many a times we don't even think about it. Like we have to put say a biscuit packet, and we leave the dog in the car, and we go out, and by the time we are back, he's almost on the side, and he's drooling, and he's many a times I've seen, like, people don't even think. We
Right.
don't even think, like, if we leave
Right.
a child in the car for 10 minutes, we don't think about it. But in
Yeah.
a hot summer thing, it can lead to major disasters.
No,
I've
also
seen
we have,
dogs dying because of it. Sorry.
I mean, I'm saying, and just that it's an Indian thing also. 2 minute mein to aa raha hu, and then you don't
Yes,
realize how much
yes,
time has gone by, and then
yes, yes,
you come back to a tragedy waiting for you. That's really
yes.
heartbreaking. So no, thank you. I
Like
think that
we have seen, like, people go to pick up their kids from the school, and they say that we can take hardly 2 minutes to pick up the child from the school gate
yeah,
and get back to the car. And by the time they are back into the car, they found the dog was like in a very pathetic condition, and the moment they were able to rush in, it was too late. So we have seen many things. So that's why I wanted to highlight that heat stroke needs to be taken care of. Like, don't ignore it even for a minute.
Yes.
You have to rush to the dogs.
Yes. No, thank you so much. I mean, as difficult that is as it is to hear about it, but it's very important information,
Yes.
and I think every pet owner needs to know. Because we were live with Dr. Joshan the other day, and that's what we were discussing. That all the information online, is geared towards the Western countries, which are much cooler, and there's not enough information out for India and like for our climate.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Right.
your experience is invaluable to us because it comes firsthand. You've seen all these cases
Right.
happening.
Right.
What is our habit now? We just go online and look for this information, but all the articles are from the
Mm-hmm.
older countries, so they
Yes,
don't talk
yes,
about these
they
things.
they don't talk
So,
about it because that's not a major killer there.
yes,
Here it becomes a major problem. If you
right.
are bathing your dog and you are drying him with the direct heated dryers, that can even lead to a temperature as high as 100, 506, and he'll sit down and he'll collapse on the side. People don't realize whether it's because of the chemical, that the shampoo chemical, or it is
Yeah,
because of the heat. And by the time you realize it, at times it's quite late, because poisoning still gives you some time, like you have
yes.
5, 6 hours, 10 hours to get an
Okay,
antidote and all that, but heat
okay,
stroke won't give you a time. So by the time you realize that it was because of the heat, the things go beyond your hands.
right.
So these are very small things, but needs to be
No,
taken
but
care of.
these are crucial things, because I mean, again, like if we as pet parents should know about these things and take care of these things and be very, very careful, guys. Temperatures in India go up to
Yes.
47, 48 degrees, and inside a closed car, it's like an oven. I would say it's even
Right,
higher
right.
for sure.
Yes, it's a slight.
So,
And it
so
is the worst thing. Apart from that, even we don't think about walking the dogs in the afternoon. We are going out, we can get the loo and all, but still we don't feel that it can lead to such harsh things. But by the
right,
time the dog comes back home, he's already panting, the temperature has risen to 104, 105. And if immediately we don't keep him in a cold place or in an AC, or don't provide him water, that can also lead to these type of problems. Not only in the car, but even heavy exercise or heavy walks in the
yeah,
summers can also lead to such things, because our
right.
temperature is like literally killing.
Yes, yes. I mean, even for us, it's difficult. And dogs' body
Yes,
temperature is anyway higher than us, and then
higher
they have
than
the
us.
whole
Yes,
fur coat that they're wearing.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
so do you think it cools the dogs if we shave them?
Uh, that's a very common question that I receive every other day. But I'm totally against shaving of the dogs, because the coat is designed in such a way that it protects the body. It
Yes.
traps the air as well. Yes, if
Okay.
it is a very long coat dog like a Saint Bernard or a Siberian Husky, you can reduce it down to like 2/3 or 1/3 of it can be reduced down, but never go for a close shave, because it will
Like
expose the body.
you
Yeah.
mean by trimming, right? Just to trim it.
No, just to reduce it down a bit so that it can the air could pass through it, but
Okay.
don't go for a close shave or completely removing it, because a
Hmm.
layer of it is needed on the body and a considerable amount is needed. If you have got a long coat dog, then at least 50% of the coat should be there on the body. If you
Oh,
remove it,
wow.
I don't think that it'll cool the dog, but it will
Hmm.
expose the body to other infections, like skin problems will start coming up. Plus,
Right.
the fur is made in such a way that it traps the air also, and that
The
air is
cool air.
comparatively cooler than the surrounding air. So it
Okay.
keeps the body cool also. So if you
Okay.
shave it off, it won't make a purpose. Frankly speaking, how frequently we shave our head in summers? Do we feel heat to such an extent that we shave it off? No, we don't do
No.
it. So
No.
it's the same case with the dog. Moreover, 90% of the time they are in the ACs, they are in the comfortable environment, so why to
Yeah.
play with their natural thing? This is made according to their needs and the requirement of the body, so don't go for a shaving. I
Okay.
don't recommend it.
Okay. No, thank you. So we have a question here from Sudarshan who's saying, can we give buttermilk to dogs in summer?
Yes, you can give buttermilk to dog, but it should not be. You should not add any spices to it. A pinch of salt is fine. but no other spices like chilies or anything to it. A plain cold buttermilk with a small amount of salt can be given very easily. And in fact, it is good to keep him cool during this time, because we need a lot of water content in the body. Dog can't
Right.
drink every time water and water and water. So these
Yeah.
type of things like buttermilk ho gaya, diluted curd ho gaya, even the fruits that contain lot of water in it, like watermelon, though it is sweet, but small quantities of it could be given, so that
Right.
the hydration level could be maintained in the body. You can very well give him buttermilk.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Pandey. We have Akansha here, and she said, I wanted to know, since there is a lockdown, I'm a little scared to take my pet to the doctor. So I want to
Mm-hmm.
deworm him. What tablet can I give him to deworm, which will be easily available at a normal chemist?
Normal chemist pay, you can get the Zental tablets, that is albendazole. It's a single salt that can be given. If it is a big dog, maybe a Labrador or something, you can take a 400 mg of Zental, Zentil. It can be
Okay.
easily available taken from a normal chemist. And one tablet you can give for a 40 kg lab.
Okay.
Accordingly, if it's a small breed, you can give half a tablet or 1/4 of a tablet, and that can be repeated after 20 days, and then 3 months gap you can give. So it can be
Okay.
very easily taken from the normal chemist, human medicine.
Okay. Thanks, Doc. Akansha, I hope that answers your question. And Sudarshan is saying thank you about the hydration
You're
question.
most welcome. You're most
So
welcome.
we have Sulba here. Hi, Sulba. She's saying, what's your take on giving sugar to dogs?
Sugar, frankly speaking, only the fructose part, like the fruit sugar, that can be given to the dogs, and that too in the smaller quantity. The
Okay.
normal sugar, the sugar that comes from the sugar cane and all those things, it's a
Yeah.
strict no to the dog. It's not something that it is a poison to the dog, but once he gets the sugar, he gets the energy. They eat to get the energy. So if they
Right.
are eating sugar, they are getting a good quantity of energy, so they won't eat the things that are needed for them. So the
Right.
quantity of the other food that the dog is eating, it reduces down. So once it is reduced down, so other deficiencies start coming up. The
Hmm.
most common thing that we see is the skin problems. It has nothing to do directly with the eating of sugar. Like people says, if you eat sugar, you'll get skin problems. It is
Yeah.
not directly related, but once you are getting the sugar, you are not eating the normal food, which is giving certain micro elements that are needed to keep your coat good. So once your these things are depleted out from their body, so you will be getting certain secondary things like skin problem
Right.
is most common thing, hair fall is most common thing that happens because of
Right.
eating more of sugar. But it
Right.
is not something poisonous that if you eat it, it's going to lead to any poisoning or anything. So it should be avoided. If you want to give him sugar, it should be in the form of the fruits. That's the best thing, like apple, papaya, that contains the lesser quantity of sugar. So fructose can be given, but not the direct sucrose form, like the
Okay.
direct sugar thing.
Yeah. Okay. But dogs get diabetes?
Yes, that's very
Yes.
common. But again, diabetes is there, but diabetes has nothing to do with eating of more of sugar.
Okay.
It's always a misnomer that who eats more sugar will get a
Yeah.
diabetes, but it is basically imbalance of the hormone, like the insulin
Okay.
hormone that can't be produced in the body, or it cannot metabolize the sugar to such an extent.
Right.
So that leads to diabetes. So even if you
Okay.
are eating lots of sugar and you have a normal hormonal thing, nothing will happen. So it has nothing to do with having sugar and
Right.
diabetes. But yes,
Okay.
dogs may, it is very common thing. So we don't advise people to give them sugar and all, so that it can be taken care of. Managed, you can say it can be managed.
So how would we know that a dog has diabetes? What would be its symptoms? Because
Frankly speaking, the initial symptoms will be only like he'll be feeling more thirsty, he'll be passing more urine. The first symptoms that comes will be this. Then initially there will be sudden increase in the appetite. Like a dog is normally having 2 meals, and all of a sudden he starts demanding 3 or 4 meals, finishing
okay.
off all whatever he's getting. Initially there will be a weight gain. So these are some of the initial symptoms. The first thing would be polyuria, like more thirst and more urine output.
Okay.
So all of a
Okay.
sudden the dogs start drinking a lot of water. Yes, in summers they increase it, but suddenly they start increasing to such an extent that you could find it like if he's been passing the urine 3 times a day, now he is going out for 6 times a day or 7 times a day. That means
Okay.
something is problematic.
Okay.
So first symptom is
he drinks more water, he starts urinating a lot, and then he starts eating a lot, initially increasing the weight. But in diabetes, if it's a long case and long ignored case, then they start
Yeah.
losing weight, then these cataracts start coming. So these
Oh,
are some of the symptoms. Yes, cataract is very common in dogs because of diabetes. Many a times
wow.
we diagnose the patients only because of this, because overeating, overwater, at times the owners
But
ignore it because they
but
feel
by
that
then
he's, yeah, yeah.
but by then it's quite advanced. You mean when
Yes,
cataract?
that's very advanced. That like it has crossed the limits of the blood level, and now it has started depositing in the organs. It could be
My God.
kidneys, it could be in the eyes. So once it has started coming in the eyes, that means it's quite an advanced stage. Dogs can't tell you. Dogs can't say that I am
Right,
feeling
right.
shaky from inside. I am well, they can't tell you. So the
Yeah.
many a times people come like my dog is showing some whiteness in his eyes, and by the time we check it, it is more than 500 600 sugar levels. So we diagnose it many a times because of the cataract only, because a
Wow.
healthy happy eating dog, everyone likes it.
Yeah,
He's
yeah, of
eating
course.
good,
Aajkal बहुत
he's
खा
good.
रहा है. Like, yeah, he started losing a lot. We're very happy about it. Okay.
Yes. So most of the people are happy that he is starting eating on his own. He's starting eating whatever we gave him. Many a times, like, he's very choosy. Initially, he was very choosy.
Yeah,
Now he eats everything, whatever we are giving. So it might be an alarming thing, but we take it in a positive way. So that
yeah.
this happens. Many a times it happens.
So thank you. That's very interesting to know because like you said, dogs can't say, and that's. I was curious.
Yes.
Actually, if dogs can get diabetes, what are the symptoms? How do we even know what is happening? No, thank you so much. Thank you so much
You're
for that.
welcome.
Yamika wants to know fresh food or kibble dog food.
My personal choice is fresh food.
Yeah,
Because it is fresh. Like what we feel is like in a processed food, obviously it will get preservatives. It has got a
yeah,
long shelf life. You never know from when it started in the factory and when it has reached you. So my personal choice is a fresh food. But again, it has to be balanced, which is a very difficult thing. Whatever
yeah,
we are eating, that might not be good for the dog. So if we know how to balance the food and how to give a proper combination of the things, it is fine. But if we are just doing mixing and matching, then I don't think it is good. So in that case, you can do a midway thing. Like part of it could be a fresh food, and part
yeah.
of it could be the dog food, so that
So
he'll get a balanced thing. Yeah.
yeah, I'm going to ask you a follow-up question on this. No one has asked it, but in our country, a lot of people households are vegetarian, but they have
Hmm.
dogs. And
Hmm.
in that case, I mean, would you feel that a kibble would be a more balanced option because they don't want to bring in like meat home or chicken home?
Yes, yes. Frankly speaking, they require more of proteins,
Yes.
and our protein diet is not sufficient for them, especially during the growing stages. They need lots of protein, like lots of egg, lots of non-veg. So if you
Yeah.
are 100% vegetarian, then this dog foods are always better because you don't
Hmm.
have to think anything. They are totally balanced. You'll
Balance.
just
Yeah.
supply them, and you don't have to think about it. Because in the growing stages, you need small things that you
Yeah.
can't supplement through the home cooked diet until unless you
Hmm.
are a very good nutritionist, you know from where you can get everything. So it becomes difficult. And moreover, we are not specially cooking for them.
Yeah.
Indian based diet is basically carbohydrate rich. Proteins are
Right.
like a side thing, they are not to that extent.
So
But
true.
dogs require more of protein thing. So what I feel is kibbles that way is always better because they are totally balanced. You don't have
Right.
to think about it. You have to just measure it, give it to them, and you are done with it.
Done.
So
Good.
I feel that way.
Thank you. That's a good point. We have Sudarshan again. He's saying, "What is the opinion of both sugar and salt?"
Oh, salt is needed every day. Like salt, you have to give in a regular basis because it is needed by various systems of the body. Even for the transmission of the nerves, you need a small quantity of salt. So salt should be added in every day's diet.
Okay.
Even the dog foods, the packed foods, they have got a certain quantity of sodium and they have got certain
Okay.
quantity of salt in them. But even if we are cooking, like we are giving, suppose anything, chapatis and with boiled vegetables, we add a pinch of salt so that the salt content is taken care of. At least one diet of the dog should have some quantity of salt in it. Sugar, it's not needed as such because no system is required for that. It is a direct source of energy. So we prefer sugar, giving them sugar only in the case when they are not eating properly. Like if they are under the observation of a doctor, if someone comes to me and he says that he's totally off feed, we are putting him on drips or injections, then we advise them to give a small quantity of maybe melted ice cream. That's not because it is tasty, but it has got some sugar content in it. So even if he takes 2 or 3 spoons of it, he'll get a lot of energy from it. Or suppose for that matter, if some whelping is going on, a female is giving birth to the babies and she's in the process of giving birth, she needs a lot of energy. So we at times say that just give him a spoon of honey. But it is not like we are giving him like a total nutrition or a diet. It is just to give him a boosting of the energy, that immediately she can get some energy, so she can sustain through that phase.
Right.
So in certain phases we give ice, like sugar, but salt is a regular need.
Okay. And also we discussed sugar at length already, so
Yes,
I hope
yes.
it answers your question, Sudarshan. And okay, we have Akansha here. She's saying my lab is very fussy. Unlike a lab, he doesn't eat much. In fact, he skips most of his meals. He hates kibble. Homemade food,
Okay.
he likes chicken, and that too, he will eat only one meal. Is it normal?
In this weather, I think it is normal, and
Yeah.
I'm not sure what's the age of the dog. Normally, an adult Labrador who is not Labrador, adult dog like who is above 1.5 year, they prefer taking just 2 diets. One has to be a complete diet with
Yeah.
like if she's giving chicken and everything, and other could be a smaller portion like just a liquid thing or some fruits. So in this weather, it is perfectly fine, nothing to worry about. And if he is having chicken every day, he's getting a good portion of protein. Only
Protein, yeah.
thing is, she needs to add some carbohydrates to that thing. Like if he's having chicken, you can add boiled vegetables to it, or you can boil the vegetables along with the chicken with a pinch of maybe salt and turmeric, and
Right.
add either chapati or dalia to it. So it'll make a complete broth sort of a thing that will contain carbohydrate, protein, small minerals. So it will
Right.
be a complete diet for him. So if he
Yeah.
have it even once a day, it will take care of his diet completely.
Okay. So thank you for that. Parikshit is saying, Doctor, how many times in a day can we feed a pug?
If it is an adult, again, I think he'll stick to just 1 or 2 diets,
Yeah.
maximum 2 diets.
Yeah.
In between, yes, if you are having a tea or you are snacking something, he can have his 1 or 2 biscuits, because pugs is a breed that needs a lot of pampering, and they want a lot of treats. Though I don't know, I'm strictly against treats also. And but still, you can give 1 or 2 treat in between, and 2 major diets. One in the
Yeah.
early morning, one in the late evening. Maybe around 4 5, he can have a small fruits, or he can have a buttermilk, or anything that a snack or something.
Yeah, I mean, I'm the same. I don't give free treats. They have to either, do some
Earned
training or,
it.
yeah. But the dogs are so smart. They figured out that my husband is very generous with treats for just wagging their tail. He'll throw them a treat.
It happens. They are the most intelligent breeds on the earth, and they know from where they can emotionally blackmail which person, and they are literally after that person. And frankly speaking, in my house, it is me, not my husband. My husband is totally strict. No treats to them, but the moment they look at me in a loving face and wag their tail, I'm like, okay, you can
That's
have one more biscuit.
They always know the weak links. Always.
Yes, they understand it very well, and
Very.
they exploit it to the matlab, most possible way they want to exploit it.
Yeah, no, no. If both of us are eating, they'll never sit next to me. They'll both of them. We have two dogs. Both of them will go to him only, and then start begging. So,
Yeah, they are like that only.
okay, thanks, Bjork. We have Vivek here. He's saying, "Ma'am, I dewormed my Dutch Shepherd. He's of around 50 days. I dewormed him by Drontal plus,
Okay.
but in his poo, I feel smell, and he eats food after 10 minutes. Uh, he used to poo. What can I do? Should I deworm him again?"
No, if he has been dewormed now, you'll have to give a gap of at least 15 to 20 days. If there are some worms coming out, like a small segment like or white thing coming out in his poop, then you can deworm it. But at least you have to give again a gap of 15 days, not
Yeah.
before that. smell is a normal thing. It happens with the pups if they are not been able to digest the food properly. There are certain helpful bacteria like probiotics that can be added to his diet. Either you can add Yakult curd to his diet, small
Okay.
quantity of Yakult curd, or you can add. There are pouches by the name of Econom. They are basically digestive bacteria that can be
Right.
added to his diet. So it will help him digest the food better, and these type of smell and everything will go away. But deworming is not a solution to this. Once it has been
Also,
done, give a gap of 15-20 days only. Yeah.
Also, I feel anytime a dog's diet changes, it does take them a little while
Yes.
to adjust to the new
Yeah.
food. So it's a puppy who's 50 days old. I'm guessing there is a change of home and the puppy's diet has
Uh,
changed. So that might be. Don't
plus they are.
overmedicate the baby,
Yeah,
consult your vet, please, before
yeah,
you
yeah.
give another round of dental like that.
Yes, and plus they are scavengers at this stage. They explore everything, they lick everything, they eat everything. So he might be licking things, and he might be getting a small dusty things and things like that.
Yeah.
That might cause some sort of an upset. So before giving any medicine, again go to a vet and then do
Yes.
it. Do it on your own.
Thank you, Doc. Yamika, I think again like another question on food. She's saying, what is your take on dog cancers linked to kibble-fed dogs?
I don't think there's anything proven as such that dogs have been linked with these type of cancers uh, with the kibble food. Yes, there are certain diseases like kidney diseases could be associated with kibble food diets, or some sort of liver diseases, but they are not directly related to it. The reason is that these foods are very dehydrated. Like all the water content has been removed out of these diets so
Right,
that they can be preserved for a longer period. So once the
right.
food that is very dry, you need to have a lot of water with it. So many a times it happens like we give the dog ad lib quantity of dog food. Even if it is a pug, instead of giving a 50 to 75 grams of food, we are just filling his bowl. So he
Yeah.
keeps on eating that food. He eats it to such an extent that there's no space left for the water to be taken out. So
Oh,
these dehydrated food goes inside, and he
yeah.
is full of his stomach, and he doesn't drink water. So what will happen? The protein content will be quite high in the food, and the water is not taken inside. So
Hmm.
it is a very dehydrated, very concentrated diet that has been taken inside. So it needs to be associated with the water intake. So it is not directly related with these type of problems, but yes, certain kidney diseases might erupt because of it. So our take is just read the label very carefully, because many a times we don't look at the quantity that needs to be fed to the dog. Either we are just giving him like a snack, we are giving 10-20 kibbles to it, or we are giving it ad lib. I have seen people filling up the bowl and leaving it as such. He'll eat throughout the day. Like
Yeah.
no thinking about how much quantity he needs, how much
Yeah.
dosage is to be given. Obviously if you are giving a high quantity of it, it'll have some detrimental effects. If you start eating say non-veg every day and large quantity of it, even your system will start revolting,
Yeah.
because you won't be able to digest all those things. And these breeds are quite small things, they don't require that much of energy. They need a balanced diet. If you are giving an exact balanced quantity of these kibbles, I don't think there's going to be any sort of diseases associated with it, because they are like studied upon, they have been tried upon so many of dogs, then they are brought into the
Yeah.
market. It's not like you manufacture it in your home and you introduce it.
Yeah.
There are hundreds and hundreds of pets on these diets, then only they are introduced in the market.
Right.
So I don't think, yes, feeding guidelines should be followed properly. So unless there won't be
So,
any problem with it.
So besides the quantity of the food, which should be as per the dog's weight and
Hmm.
as per the brand guidelines, some brands are
Hmm.
very concentrated, like Akana, I
Hmm.
know for sure, and all of
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
very very rich foods, and you don't need to give as much quantity as, let's say, a Royal Canin of
Hmm.
another brand.
Right.
So you follow
Yeah.
the brand guidelines, but what else do you recommend? Like, should we soak the kibble and give it, or we should keep a water all the time?
Uh,
What is the best way
uh,
to feed?
Ideally, so they should be given dried, because they
Okay.
help in removing the tartar also. Because
Okay.
once the dog chews it, the kibble will act on the teeth itself, and that
Okay.
will avoid the buildup of the tartar on the teeth also. So
Okay.
they are helpful that way. But if your dog is not drinking water after it, suppose he takes his diet and he's not a very frequent drinker, so in that case you have to add either water to it, or if he's having milk or curd, you can add some more water in it, so it becomes a bit diluted, so that he can get some content of water along with it. So
Okay.
but if your dog is, again, same thing, if he's not having water, then you can soak the food. You can add water to it, soak it, and then you can give it to him.
Okay.
But a
Thank
soaked dog food needs to be consumed then and there. It
Then
should not be kept. Yeah, it should not be kept. Normally,
I
what
think
happens in Indian homes, we keep the dog food and we leave it as such, and they'll eat throughout the day. But if it's
but
a soaked
I
food,
think from a
yeah,
behavioral standpoint, that's also a bad habit, because then the
yes,
dog
this
then
is a
becomes
very
a
bad.
picky
Yes,
eater, right? He knows
yes,
food is
yes.
always available, and then suddenly
Uh,
all the tantrums start. So,
Yes, this is the very big difference between a dog and a cat. A cat food has to be left as such throughout the day, and she'll keep on eating it. But for a
okay,
dog, he has to be trained to eat his food at a given particular time. Otherwise,
right,
all his systems will be affected. His normal excretion won't be there properly. He won't
okay,
go out on the proper walks. He won't be relieving himself while you are taking him out for a walk, because he hasn't taken the enough quantity. And
right.
once he comes back, he eats the remaining food, and now he wants to defecate himself. So now
Yeah,
it is difficult for you to train him, how to train him, because he's not eating properly. Then
yeah.
again, he knows that the food is always there. I try to get it from whoever is eating, and at the end, I can eat my own thing. So he end up eating more than what he's needed to eat. So these type of problems happen with them.
For sure, yeah, yeah. And then they say we can't train our dog, right? So
Yes,
see, such
yes.
a simple thing can lead to so many problems.
So many big
Wow.
problems.
Okay, very, very lot of information today, Dr. Pandey. Thank you.
You're
So,
most welcome. These are actually very small things, but we don't sort of follow these things. These are basic things we follow with our kids, but we don't follow it with our pets.
that's
Maybe we pamper them more than even our kids, I suppose.
okay. So Goonj is saying, how many meals are needed for a dog if I'm giving him home cooked food for the time being?
For an adult dog, ideal timing is only 2 diets.
Okay.
For a puppy who is around 3 to 4 months, we need 4 to 5 diets.
Hmm.
After 5 months, we need only 4 diets, and maybe around after 7 months or 8 months, we shift to 3 diets. And once the dog is 1 year plus, it is ideally 2 major diets. One could be in between, like I said, it could be a snack, or it could be a liquid diet, or just a fruit in between the 2 diets. But an adult dog who is more than 1 year, he requires just 2 major diets. Again, a small breeds like Shih Tzus, Lhasas, the
Yeah.
Facetas, what we call them, they stick to normally one diet.
Okay.
They have a good diet at the night or in the early morning, and throughout the day
Yeah.
they won't eat anything except for the snacks, or except for the treats or the pampering things that you are giving. So that
Yeah.
is pretty normal with them. This is totally normal.
Okay. And Goonj also has another question about her Dalmatian, who's 6 years old and he's perfectly fit, but he has been partially deaf since birth. He listens but very loud sounds. Is there any treatment in India to deal with this?
Nothing could be done in this case,
Yeah.
because as she told us that he has been right from the right from the, maybe most probably from the birth itself, he might be not be able to listen properly. So at this stage, I don't think
But
anything could be done.
also Dalmatians, I feel it's a breed issue as well, deafness in
Yes,
Dalmatians.
30% of the Dalmatians are born that way. So it
Yeah.
is a predisposition in Dalmatians. It happens like that.
So, but Goonj, I have seen personally some videos of deaf dogs where they've learned sign language, and maybe you can try that. Look at that, and they know what is the sign for a walk like this, and they know
Oh,
the meal signs. Then so maybe you can look up some videos on YouTube how to train a deaf dog and communicate with your dog better that way. So you could try that
that's
instead of
that's
searching.
really enlightening for me also. I never thought about on that lines, but it's
I watch a
really
lot of
good
dog
things.
videos, so
Yeah, that is really good. It is something very creative.
okay. And my mom is here. Hi, mom. She's saying my dog, which is an Akita with a hard bite, bit her Labrador on his muzzle last week. It's healed,
Okay.
but now there is 2 hard spots on his muzzle, which is not getting better.
They are not protrusions, I suppose. It is just the marks, no? What she
Yeah.
mentioned it is that just the marks.
Yes.
Might be that the skin of that area have been damaged completely, so
Okay.
it won't be like a totally healed up portion. It will be something like a scar, something like that happens on our skin also if we have been injured. If it is very hard, you can apply just a small quantity of coconut oil or
Okay.
normal what we call desi ghee that can be
Right.
applied, so just to keep it a bit soft and moist. And if it is a permanent mark, I don't think it will be healing up, but it won't lead to any problems. It won't percolate deeper down, or it will be a superficial scar only, just a
Okay.
mark.
Yeah. Thank you. Uh, then we have, okay, Vivek, best is you consult Dr. Pandey directly. He's asking about the Drontal again. So, and Sudarshan, we've already discussed Kibble, how to soak it. And so I'm going to not get into it all over again. Okay, so we have a question from Navya. She's saying, hello, so good to see you guys. Thanks for joining us, Navya. I have a question for Dr. Aradhna. There are 6 indie pups around my house of about 40 days old. Can we give them a shower right now? Thanks.
They are 40 days old. Yes, the weather is fine. You can give them shower, but you have to see the general condition. If you feel that they are strong enough, then you can give it. If they are very delicate, because for a street dog, we are not sure how well fed they are. If they are well fed and they are kept in a good condition, you can give them bath. Otherwise, we prefer mainly after 2 months of age. But since it's quite hot these days and tick infestation and flea infestation is going on a lot, so you can give it even at this stage. No issues in that.
Okay, so thank you for that. I have 2 questions based on this answer. How often should we give our dogs a bath in the summer?
Okay. Normally, I prefer it at least 15 days. There should be a gap of 15 days.
Right.
The basic reason for it is that dogs don't have this sweat glands. So they are not sweating from the body. So the smell is not coming practically. And they excrete out sebaceous. They have sebaceous glands. So they give out oil. So that keeps their coat and their texture a bit shiny, and a soft hair coat is there. So if we are watering it, we are adding anything to their body, so it gets depleted out. Right. So the hair becomes dry, brittle, and moreover, bathing a dog for just maybe 15 minutes, 20 minutes, it won't cool his body to that an extent. Like we bathe it to clean the sweat, to remove all the dirt and dust, and it won't serve the purpose for the dog. So ideally, I prefer 15-20 days. But in the meantime, you should brush him regularly. Like a dry brush, normal brushing. It has to be done, I think, daily if possible. Or if not possible, at least on the alternate day. So that all the dust and the dirt that settles on these glands, that can be cleared off, and his body become more shiny, and everything is more clearer.
Okay. And you mentioned ticks, so I mean, I'm sure
I was expecting that.
Because I'm also fighting off not a tick but a flea infestation with my dogs right now. So please, some help would be good.
Frankly speaking, in the case of ticks, it's prevention is better than cure, because once we have them, it is really difficult to get it removed. Unless it's just 1 or 2 of them. I have seen cases where it is it is even multiplying in the house. They are crawling on the wall, and at that stage it is almost impossible to cure the pets, because every time you get a dog bathed and you get it removed, the next day they'll come back to him. So there should be a cocktail of things that should be used. Like first, I would prefer a anti-tick bath that will take care of the ticks that are already there on the body. But it won't take care of 100% of the ticks. Like it will reduce to 80 to 90% of the ticks can be taken care of. After that, we can apply something locally on the body that is sort of a prevention, so that new ticks should not come in. Like there are either tick sprays. The most common problem that we face is like people take the tick spray and they spray it like a deodorant, and next time they are coming back and they say that still there are ticks. It is very clearly written on the tick spray packs that you have to apply at least 3 to 6 pumps per kg of dog. So if you
Oh,
have got a 10 kg of dog, you need at least 30 to 60 sprays on his body.
wow. Okay.
So it almost drenches the dog. Like if it is a
Oh,
Labrador and 40 kg dog, and you apply, suppose, 120 sprays to the body, so it's his body is almost drenched. If
yeah.
we achieve this level, then it protects the dog for another 1 month. If we are
Okay.
using just like a deodorant, like 10 sprays here and there, it won't serve the purpose. So
Okay.
it will be a useless thing. In a long coat dog, I don't prefer sprays. I prefer pour on drops that can be applied just at the back of the neck. They are according to the weights of the dog. Suppose a 10 kg dog, so 0 to 10 kg drops are available that can be applied on the back, and it again protects the dog for the next 1 month.
Okay.
There are certain oral tablets also available now. So if you give the single tablet, it will last for 3 months. So 3 months, your dog will be totally free from the ticks. So these
Okay.
two things we have done on the dog. The third most important thing is to be taken care of the house, because already there are ticks roaming around in the house, not a single or two, but if there are multiple ticks on the dog, especially if we see the minute small things on the dog, that indicates that the ticks are breeding in the house, because dogs can't pick the small ones. Normally
Oh,
dogs, when they go out, they pick the big ticks. One or two they
okay.
stick to their paws, and that they crawl up in the body. But if you see a very minute, like a pinpoint type of ticks crawling on your dog's body, that means someone somewhere breeding is happening in your house, because they don't breed on the dog's body, they breed on the in the corners of your house, in the furniture,
Oh,
carpets, rugs. So they lay eggs there. So if you find anything like a small very minute tick on the body, it means they are multiplying in your house. Then go for a pest control. That's the only thing available. So it should be a three way theory. Protect him, then pest control your house, and third is further prevention, like a spray or a drop or a tablet. It's a
okay.
very vast topic, and I can go on because this is the second most killer in the summers, because apart from the normal blood sucking and skin infections, it causes a
Yeah.
lot of diseases like tick fever, which is like, I think 50% of the cases coming to the clinic in this season is of tick fever only. So
Wow.
I always recommend people to protect them from heat and protect them from ticks. These are
Ticks.
the two most important things. Ticks is very something difficult thing.
And they're everywhere.
They are everywhere. Frankly speaking, many a times I find them on my body also, because throughout the day we are with the
They're,
dogs, and many a times they stick to us also. So we have to be very careful that way. They are everywhere.
okay. Before I take more questions, Rana is saying, "Man, can we see your palms? Are they
Yeah,
around?"
sure. Why not? Yeah, they are around. Ritvik, Pichu Pikachu. I've got two of them, and one is Pichu, another one is Pikachu, and my son is Raichu that way.
That's
In
good.
fact, he
How
has
old are they?
recently. Pardon?
How old are they? How old are they?
They are around 1.5 year.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
January born, so approximately 1.5 year, and
Wow.
yes, they are a good company. Oh, this is the smaller one. Oops.
Oh,
This is Pichu.
hi,
Hi, Pichu.
Pichu.
Say hi to. Hi, Pichu.
Pichu.
Okay. Okay, I love you,
He's
baby.
so cute. Oh my god.
And here's his another brother, Pikachu.
Hi,
He's a
Pikachu.
bit
Oh,
bigger than him. Though they
the
are real brothers,
beautiful.
but he has come out to be a not a pure pom. Okay. Yes, baby, I love you.
He's 100% cute, even if not 100% pop.
Yes, yes.
He's so cute.
He's more loving. He's more affectionate, and in fact, my son has named himself Raichu after them. That
That is so
and
cute.
and he has even launched a YouTube channel in this shutdown, like
Oh,
fun with Pichu, Pikachu, and Raichu, and
oh
he
my
has been
god.
adding videos to the YouTube, and this is fun, I suppose.
That
Having
is
a
so
pet in
cute.
your house is
Oh yeah, yeah.
really something.
Oh yeah. I think it's one of the best things kids can grow up with, are pets.
Definitely, definitely. I've got a single son, and he used to be like a loner sort of a thing. But since I have these two dogs, he never complains me, Mama, I'm alone, or any complaints. They are totally gone. And throughout the day, my house is like either it is a dog castle is there with all the cushions gone, and they are turned into a castle, and everyone is tunneling around inside it. So every next day, you see something or the other happening with me.
And
All my
you're
plants
even,
are gone.
yeah, but that's fine because it takes care of the screen time problem that so many parents now
Yes,
face,
yes, yes,
So your the kids are engaged with the dogs and can't be on
yes.
the phone at the same time. So
Well, frankly speaking, I never feel that there's anything better than growing up with the pets around you.
seriously, yeah,
I've been grown with them since I was a. Well, I don't remember the days when I didn't have a dog with me. Right from the childhood till I'm now around more than 40 years of age, and I've had dogs throughout my life. And
yeah.
I don't know. I'm so comfortable with them.
No, I think some of my best memories from my childhood involve my dogs. So for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah. That is there.
Okay, I'm going to go back to questions before people
Yeah.
start complaining. Parikshit says about food again. Sorry, supplementary question. How many egg whites can I feed my dog in a day? And is the yellow part a complete no-no?
Has he mentioned the breed or anything about it?
No,
Which breed is
no,
it?
nothing. All the
Okay,
size
okay.
also.
Frankly speaking, for a small dog, I prefer a single egg, complete egg with a egg white as well as egg yolk, because white
Okay.
contains the protein part and the yolk contains certain amount of fats and other minerals and vitamins that are needed by the body. So I don't say that it should be a complete no-no. Single egg is good for a small breed dog till say Cocker Spaniels or Dalmatians, and above that maybe Labrador, German Shepherd. You can go for two eggs, complete two eggs with yolk and everything.
Okay.
I don't prefer going further with the eggs until unless a dog is advised to go for a protein diet. There are certain
Okay.
cases in which we advise them to go for a high protein diet. Otherwise, I prefer just two eggs. They are completely balanced. But if you want to go because of some deficiencies he's going in, we can go up to four eggs, two with yolks and two without yolks. But
Okay.
still, my personal preference would be two complete eggs, nothing more
Okay.
than that. For a small breed, one is more than sufficient. You don't need more than that.
Okay. Thank you. And we have another question from Goonj who wants to know best way to maintain oral hygiene for dogs. Brands for toothpaste.
Brands, okay. That's a very tricky question. Frankly speaking, there are 7, 8 type of things that are available, and
Yeah.
according to your convenience, you can use either of these. First thing is the most basic thing is a paste and a brush. There's no
Okay.
substitute for it. If you can brush your dogs, there's nothing better than that, because it physically removes also, and plus the chemicals in the paste will help in removing all the tartar, all the bad smell that is coming.
Okay.
Apart from the paste, if they are fussy dogs, like they don't allow you to brush them, then there are certain foam type of preparations available. You have to just spray it in the mouth and let it act on the body. You don't have to give food for the next 15-20 minutes. So that
Okay.
foam will move in the mouth, and it has certain enzymes that will dissolve all the tartar, and bad breath will go away.
Okay.
Apart from that, there are certain sprays sort of a thing, like a mint spray that we use just before you are expecting some guest and you feel your dogs have got a bad breath. Just you can spray it just like a mint breath. It won't have much lasting effect, but it will give a good smell. So these
Okay.
are there. Apart from that, there are like feed water additives. There are certain liquids that can be added to the water. You can just
Okay.
add it, because many of the dogs are fussy dogs, and they won't let you brush them, or they won't let you touch the mouth, especially the bigger breeds. So you can add that liquid in their water. They'll drink it, and it'll have certain enzymes that will act on the tartar buildup, and it will be reduced over a period of time.
Okay.
But again, if it is quite high, then initially you have to consult a vet and get it scaled first, so that everything that is deposited is removed out, and then you can follow up with that. But I prefer that you can start as early as possible. Like if a dog is around 6 months of age, you can start brushing him, or you can start applying the gels and all those things, so that he's used to it. By the time the dog teeth start decaying and you start doing it, at that time it is painful. So he won't let you touch the teeth. So
Okay.
start as early. It's something like you start brushing at an early stage, the body brushing, or you start ear cleaning at an early stage. Same way, dental cleaning should be started as early as possible. This is the most ignored segment of the dog keeping, because it is a bit difficult. They
Yeah.
won't brush it on their own, so it becomes a bit difficult thing.
Okay. Thank you.
Brands, you can find it on Google.
Yeah. Okay, we have Hemant who has a husky 4 months old, and he's saying nowadays he's drinking lots of water, more than 4 liters. Is it normal? And what dry food would you suggest for husky puppy? Currently, I'm feeding him NND. Anything else would you would recommend?
NND is perfectly fine. I don't think there's any problem in that. Other brands that are available is like Nestle food is there, Proplan. Royal Canin is a good brand, and Hills is also a good brand. But NND is perfectly fine. There's nothing to worry about. Yes, 4 liters of water in a day of a 4-month-old husky, it seems quite high.
Yeah.
Either he is totally on a dry food, so he's not getting water from some other sources, but still 4 liters of water, I think there's something to be concerned about. You need to visit someone, I think.
Yeah.
4 liters is quite high
It is
for a
even
4-month-old.
for the
It's
kind of
high for us also, for
yes.
that matter. 4 liters, if we drink in a day, it's difficult. So
Yeah.
if he's literally eating 4 liters of water per day, so it's a matter of concern. I think you should show him to someone. There might be
Yeah.
some underlying thing going on.
Yeah. Hemant, as Dr. Pandey said, please visit your local vet to get your puppy checked, because 4 liters, as she's saying, is very excessive. I mean, if you try drinking, I don't think it will be comfortable also to have that much water in a day.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
definitely, I think that puppy needs a vet checkup. So thanks, Dr. Pandey, for that. We have a question from Maheshwar. He's saying, my dog bitten by street dogs. What are the precautions should be taken? I don't understand this question very well, Maheshwar. You need to give us some more details, I think. For future, you want to know, or do you want to know what are the injections he needs to take right now? So I'm not very clear
Uh,
on what you're asking.
I think if his dog has been bitten and he wants, as of now, if his dog is been vaccinated properly and his rabies is not due, all he needs is a tetanus injection. But
Okay.
if that dog has a history of frequently biting other dogs also, or if that dog is new to this his location,
Yeah.
then he might need a booster of the rabies as well.
Yes.
So for that reason, I think he must consult the vet, whosoever he is showing, so that he can take care of him. But
Yeah.
tetanus is a must, because
Okay.
even if he is being properly vaccinated against rabies, the tetanus and the basic wound thing has to be taken care of,
Right.
whatever wound is there.
Okay. Thank you. And Goonj has another question. She wants to know, what is the reason behind conjunctivitis in dogs?
Reason behind it's something
Yeah.
like a infection that can happen to anything, any person, anytime. There's no specific reason. There are bacterial conjunctivitis, fungal conjunctivitis, but the most common that we find in the dogs is basically because of dust or the dirt that goes in their eyes.
Oh,
Normally what happens is, when we are taking them out for a walk, if some construction site is there, so some dust might go inside, and they start rubbing it. Once they start rubbing it, it becomes red and swollen, and at times bacteria goes in.
yeah.
Another thing happens once we are bathing them and we are not taken proper care while shampooing them. Shampoo might go inside, and that irritates it. Dogs have a habit of rubbing it. They rub on the rugs, they rub on the bed, even with their paws, and that they damage it. So conjunctivitis is basically the redness or the inflammation of the eye. It could
Right.
be because of any sort of physical thing. It could be because of bacterial thing, because of viral. But most common we see it because of some external agent going into the eye. We flush our eye, but the dog can't tell you that he has got some irritation. He'll rub on, and once he
Right.
starts rubbing, it becomes inflamed and swollen. So first thing, if you're not near a vet or something, the first thing is to clean his eye with a normal RO cold water. It should be a
Okay.
filtered water, and just splash it on the eyes. Don't use anything to rub it, or just splash it on the eyes so it will wash off if there is anything external going on in the thing.
Okay.
And it can be taken care of. And if it persists, then obviously he needs to be shown to a vet.
Right. Thank you. And then we have a million messages for your dogs saying very cute,
Oh,
best
thank
name
you so much.
ever, 100% cute, and long arms. And Rana is saying, thank you, ma'am. I, Weasel, and Aradhna Pandey ma'am studied in the same school. So we didn't know that.
Yes.
So,
Yes. It's a long association. We've gone to the same school. We have stayed in the same university campus. So it's a
okay.
long association. In fact, I was introduced to the dog word, to the dogs by his father only. He was our professor at the university.
Okay.
So my first memory of the dogs, real dogs, taking care of the dogs, goes to him only. His father, Rana's father.
Okay, yeah. So good to have him here.
Yeah.
Okay, there is a question here from Srishti. She's saying, I have a senior 14-year-old lab female. She has a really bad throat since quite some time now. Being tested earlier, got a heart x-ray as well. Everything came fine. Was given treatment for bronchitis, but now again she's uneasy. And she mentioned a medicine earlier saying, is Asprip medicine good for bad throat?
Which medicine?
Asprip. ASBRIP.
Asprip is fine, but what she is mentioning is like he has been having a bronchitis since long. So I think some chest X-rays or proper diagnosis needs to be made. Because if had it been a normal bronchitis, it would have been taken care of by the normal medication that the doctor might have given him. But if it is reoccurring again, so I think she must go for a chest X-ray to rule out if there is some mnemonic changes or some any other changes going on in the lungs itself.
Okay.
Or if it is allergic, or if it is just the local irritation, because many times with the weather changing, like the dry thing is coming up, sun is very dry, and in this weather many allergic things also happen. So allergic things don't go away completely, they go away only with the season. So we need to be sure what exactly is going on. So I think the pet needs to be explored further. Maybe X-rays and some other tests needs to be done to find out what exactly is going on with her.
Right.
So she needs a vet visit, I suppose.
Yeah, it's an older dog too, so I think best is to go a vet.
Yes, don't experiment with the medication at this stage. In young stage, I at times tell people, okay, give some medicines, but at this stage, no, a strict no.
So Aditi is saying, Aditi, I go in the sequence the questions are asked. So you were coming up next. So thanks for your patience. Her question is, what age for Dobermans we can start brushing the dog's teeth?
Age?
Yeah.
What age?
What age?
As early as possible. Maybe around 4 months of age. You can start at around 4 months, and then you can continue. Initially, they don't require a daily brushing, but they should be used to the brush and the paste thing. They should know that it is a routine thing. Maybe once or twice a week you can go ahead. And once they cross the age of around 1.5 years, 2 years, when the tatters start building up and the yellowing happens, then you can give it more frequently, maybe around something around 3 to 4 times a week, or still larger than that.
Also, they lose all their baby teeth by then, and the adult teeth have come in. So so that needs to be maintained anyway more than the baby teeth for sure.
Definitely. But they should be trained right from the starting stages. Like 4-5 months, you should be able to put a hand in their mouth or put a brush in their mouth, so that they know that this is a normal procedure. Otherwise, they won't get used to it. Once you start at 2 years of age or 3 years of age, it won't serve the purpose. He won't allow you doing all those things. He won't be comfortable in that.
Okay, thank you, doctor. Let me see if we have anything left. Okay, Hemant is again talking about his husky, who's he's saying he's pending his 3rd vaccination, not able to take it due to lockdown. Is this the reason he's drinking lot of water? I'm feeding him. No, right?
No, it has nothing to do with it. Normally, what happens is excessive drinking of water is either associated with some sort of urinary infection, though he is very young for that sort of a thing, or it is related with diabetes. Again, he is very young for all these things. So there might be something infectious going on inside the body because of which he is drinking, but it has nothing to do with the delay in the vaccination schedules.
Right.
Not at all.
So, Hemant, again, please take your puppy to a vet and get him seen physically by someone, and they might need some tests and everything. So, Dr. Pandey, I think we finally no, we can bring them back. I think we finally managed to go through all the questions, and I really want to thank you, for a very informative session again on heat stroke, which we don't talk about enough, and how serious it is and how fast it kills dogs. So, guys, again, we started with that, and I'm going to end on that because I'm really little shaken with this information that how fast it kills your dogs. Don't leave your dogs in the cars, please, as it gets hot.
Definitely.
Dogs, I know a lot of our dogs are used to taking rides in the car. Cool down the car before you put them in. Don't switch off the car and leave them inside and go away thinking I'm only going for 2 minutes, because in 15 minutes your dog could be dead, and if it's not, it could have irreversible damages, and it's too late for them. It can be blindness, and none of us want that our dogs to go through such pain. So please be very careful of heat stroke. If you have further questions, Dr. Pandey is available at Doggy World. She has 3 clinics around Delhi. You can call her, you can go visit her, or ask your local vet more information. But please take care as we get into summer, and Indian summer is brutal on everyone. So,
right.
Yeah.
I want to add something on that. Many times people are in a hurry to bring the dog in to the clinic once this type of thing happens. So don't be panicked, be calm, give him lots of water. Even if he's not drinking, pour water on his body. At least try to reduce down the heat that he's already having. You can soak a very thick towel in a cold chilled water and you can wrap it around him. So don't panic, try to be cool yourself, and yes, you need to bring him to the clinic, but the time that you will waste in bringing him to the clinic, like 10 minutes, 15 minutes, by that time the temperature could be controlled to a considerable amount. So don't panic, just do whatever you can do to reduce down his temperature. You can use ice packs, you can use direct ice or chilled water, anything. Just try to bring down his temperature in the meantime while you're bringing him to the clinic.
Thank you so much, Dr. Pandey. It was great to have you again. We look forward to having you for more sessions as well.
Definitely, even I look forward to that.
And thank you for showing us Pichu and Pikachu. They were very cute. Very, very
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Okay, bye. Good day.